Welcome to Lemoore City Council Chambers located at 429 C Street. This is the November 6th regular meeting. Please silence all electronic devices as a courtesy to those in attendance. Thank you. If you could please stand for the invocation given by Pastor Wilbert Keel of Bright Light Community Church, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Eternal God, our Father, before we say anything else, we just come here to say thank you. Thank you for this another day that you've allowed us to see. And then we thank you for the city of Lemoore. We pray for its safety. We pray for all of the things that are necessary to help it be the community that it has been. Then we pray for all of these city leaders that you will bless them with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as they lead our city to greater greats and higher heights. And we ask that you will bless the whole city of Lemoore, every person that's here and every person that's a part of the population of Lemoore. We ask now that you will bless them and cover them with thine spirit. And as I read when I walked in God we trust. And I thank you for allowing us just to be here, just to do the business of the city, and continue to bless each and every person. And bless us, I pray, in the Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Ready? Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Garza.
Here.
Councilmember Lyons.
Present.
Councilmember Orth.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Gornick. And Mayor Matthews.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda approval, additions and or deletions.
I just want to state that item 1-1 is a potential action item, so we'll just need public comment on that one item before a vote is taken.
During the item, public comment? Or
You can do it now.
current, okay. So we'll go ahead and take public comment on item 1-1, approval agreement between the City of Lemoore and Griswold LaSalle Cobb, Dowd and Gin LLP for City Attorney Legal Services. Is there any public comment on that item? Any online? Okay, we'll go ahead and go to study session. Item 1-1 that I already read, so I'm not going to read it again. Ms. Trejo.
Thank you. So this item on the agenda is for council to consider approval of an agreement for city attorney services. This would be changing the city's city attorney to a representative from Griswold, LaSalle, Cobb, Dowd, and Gin LLP for city attorney legal services. The agreement is attached to the agenda if council had any questions or if anybody would like to make a motion for approval.
Any questions or comments from council? Then I'll entertain a motion.
A motion to approve 1-1.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilmember Orth and a second by Councilmember Garza. Councilmember Orth,
Yes.
Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 4 in favor.
And then before we move on to the next item, sorry, if we can have our city attorney come take a seat at the dais.
Please do. Welcome. Do you want to say anything?
No.
Okay, just checking before I moved on.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
FE.
Item 1-2, discussion of impacts of sales tax. Again, Ms. Trejo.
Thank you. So these are the same slides that we reviewed at the last council meeting. There are some new attendees in the audience, so I will cover them again if anybody has any questions about anything. Again, we're not trying to promote the sales tax. We just want to provide information so that everybody has accurate information on what is being proposed with the tax. So over the past 7 years, the average increase of unfunded liability, retirement, utilities, health, and fuel has been about 10%. While over that same time period, revenue has only risen about 5%. So that's why our deficit has continued to grow over time. We did prepare some frequently asked questions. I don't want to bore everybody with this. It is available online. It's also on the city's Facebook page. It does outline what has led to the deficit in the city's general fund. It also talks about what cuts will likely occur if the sales tax measure does not pass, which includes some employee layoffs, some cuts within the police department, the elimination of the recreation department, and a lot of the cuts to funding that is specifically funded by the city's general fund. Staff is already making changes within the city's general fund to decrease expenses and increase revenue. So there is a list of bullet points of items that we are taking action on in order to try to help balance the budget and close that deficit. There's a list of the bullet points there. You can just scan through that. Excuse me. And again, we're not trying to convince people to vote one way or another. We just want to provide accurate information. And so there is a direct correlation between the police department's response time based on the number of bodies they have on the street. So if the response time may increase if there are cuts to the police department. We've had questions about the refuse division and why the city would consider outsourcing that if the sales tax measure does not pass. And that is an option because the city would be able to bring in franchise fees to the city's general fund from outsourcing refuse. And then this is a list of current city staff. So I think there's a misconception that the city has a lot of employees. We really don't for a city our size. And so this information just outlines the positions that are funded within the city currently. And then the chief did a presentation at the town hall meeting, and we just wanted to highlight the slide of if they were asked to cut $1 million from the police department budget, what that looks like. And so it would be eliminating the 6 crossing guard positions, 2 records technicians, 1 records manager, 1 evidence technician, 2 community service officers who do code enforcement and animal control, 1 detective sergeant, and 2 police officers. And if anybody has any questions, we can answer them. We just cannot
Advocate.
advocate in favor of the tax.
Does anyone on council have any questions or comments? Are there any questions or comments from the public? Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. Good evening. Speaking as a private citizen for the record, I was hoping if you're in a position to opine on what happens next, if S were to pass and we were to find out tonight, depending on what the election results are, or like in December when it's more closer to being certified, and also what the city would pursue if S were to fail tonight.
Yes, so as we've stated in the past, S really is funding what we currently have because we have a general fund structural deficit. So it's not like if we found out tomorrow it passed, we would go buy all these new things and hire all these new bodies because it's not additional funding. So if it passes, you probably wouldn't see anything much different. If it does not pass, then there will be a plan rolled out to phase things out. So it's not like you're going to show up at the rec department tomorrow and the doors are going to be locked. We have notification requirements for layoffs for employees. We also have programs that may be going on that we wouldn't want to end them in the middle of the program because it's not fair to the kids that are participating. And so it would be a phased plan that people would notice over time.
Any other questions or comments from the public? We'll go ahead and move on to item 1-3, Tyler Technology Software Update. Ms. Valdez.
Good evening, council. Just to provide another update as to where we are in the implementation phase. We currently have 2 remaining modules going through implementation and dropping a module from the implementation. Right now, our EPNL, which is our permitting with business license and building permits, is well underway. Business license and community development is currently in the final stages of it. We will begin testing over the next couple of months. Public Works is complete and buildings is working on building out their structures at the moment. We were expecting to go live around February. Buildings is going to take us longer than anticipated. So we will more than likely look at April right now of a go live date. The asset management, which is our fleet department and capital assets, is completely done. We're in the final testing stages of it, and we're set to go live on November 12th, with capital assets being completed in February. Parks and Rec is the module that we will no longer move forward with within Tyler. The recreation department is proceeding right now with a software called Team Sideline to meet all of their needs. That's all I have for you at this time.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for the updates on that because it's been a slow rollout, but it's nice to know that there's progress moving forward and that we're not rushing things before they're ready. So thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Any council members have any comments or questions? Is there any are there any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to regular public comment. Public comment will be in accordance with the attached policy. This time is reserved for members of the audience to address the city council on items of interest that are not on the agenda and are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. It is recommended that speakers limit their comments to 3 minutes each, and it is requested that no comments be made during this period on items on the agenda. The council is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda. Prior to addressing the council, any handouts for council will be provided to the city clerk for distribution to the council and appropriate staff. The public will have an opportunity to comment on items on the agenda once the item has been called and the mayor opens the item to the public. Is there any public comment at this time? Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. Now speak on behalf of the Rotary Club of Lemoore. Let me just start by saying today is a great day to be an American. It really feels like that. I don't think there's too many times where I'm struggling to find a parking spot to come to city council, but with all the voters out there, regardless of how they're voting, it's really encouraging to see our community participating in our electoral system and our democracy. But what I really wanted to focus my attention and time on tonight was our recent crab feed from this past Saturday. Many people in the audience, maybe listening at home, as well as some people on the dais were able to attend. And on behalf of the Rotary Club of Lemoore, first and foremost, thank you. We couldn't do what we do without you. We've been around for 66 years. That was our 44th crab feed. So we've been around, and you might have noticed some changes. We took community feedback, and it was really good to hear that positive feedback. The food, from what I heard from the community, was phenomenal. People really liked the lights that we added and the different decorations. And I really like to think of the crab feed as a living event. It's something that we don't always have to do the same every single time, but it's really important that we show up to the crab feed and other Rotary events because that's how we're able to serve the community and do what we do. And I don't only say that as a representative of the Rotary Club of Lemoore, I also say that as a Rotarian member and member of the community who grew up here, who benefited from Rotary growing up. And I put my money where my mouth is. Not only did my fiance and I sponsor the crab feed, we also purchased a bed alongside some members of the dais and many other community members. So children who are in Lemoore currently sleeping on the floor do not have to do that anymore. And we can't. There's still so much more need, and we can't do it alone. And I really hope that everyone marks their calendars for the next crab feed, which it's always held the first Saturday in November. And I hope to see more community members present. We had over 300 people present for our crab feed this year, and not only people enjoying the delicious food, but with our student volunteers from Lemoore Middle College High School Interact Club. Really want to give a huge shout out to them for not only volunteering their time to make our event a success, because we could not do it without them, but also for everything they do for the community, whether it be building WAPIs, water pasteurization indicators, which helps identify clean water for areas that don't have clean water, as well as other various community service projects and community cleanups that we put on. And I really want to encourage everyone, if you're interested in joining Rotary, to come by a meeting. Rotary is for everybody. And it's always best to try and see if it's a good fit than never try at all. And we'll pay you for your lunch. It'll be a great lunch. I promise that much. But just really want to thank everyone for coming out to their crab feed, their generosity. Another shout out to our sponsors who helped fund this year's event, and really excited for next year's event as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Any online, Marissa? No? Okay, we'll go ahead and move to department and city manager reports, item 3-1.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind everyone that we have our monthly coffee and community event tomorrow at 8 a.m. in the rec center. So everybody is welcome to attend. It's just a time to ask questions and meet people in the community, talk. It's very informal. Somebody asked last time how much the coffee is. There is no charge. Marissa and I will make it, so I can't promise it will be good, but it's free. And so you're welcome to come hang out and talk. And that's it. I know the chief has something to report, as well as Frank when the chief is done.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. National Night Out was a success. It was our biggest turnout so far. We had 800 hot dogs that were all gone by the end of the night. Our annual shoe drive is taking place this month. We were out shopping today for shoes, and we'll be shopping again on the 12th. And then they'll be distributed on the 22nd, right before the break. The reason for the season date is set for December 19th. The shopping dates for that is December 7th and the 14th. Gift wrapping is the 16th. If you'd like to participate, just let me know or go down to the PD. And then Presence on Patrol is set for December 20th. That's it. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what was the last date?
December
20th.
20th.
Sorry, you talked too fast, so that took me a long time to. Mr. Rivera.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I've been updating you on a couple of street projects that we have. Mrs. Avalosa, I think, provided you a couple of zone maps to show the construction area, which I think you've kind of looked at me, kind of wondering where these projects are at. But anyway, the first one is the D Street Rehab project. It's the one that's not so colorful. Last week we closed bids. And the winning contractor goes to Mac General Engineering Construction. We'll be bringing you the notice to award next council meeting. And then once we have that, we will issue them a notice to proceed and then get a schedule from the contractor on when the work will begin. The other one that we have is I have it for you is a 2024 road maintenance project. This was a draft schedule and map. They're missing a couple of streets, but I just want to kind of give you an idea of the amount of work that'll be taking place over the next couple of weeks. So far, the crack fill and the deep patch phase of the project is complete. Due to colder temperatures, which are already here, the contractor submitted a schedule to complete all the type 2 and 3-story streets beginning this Friday. And if weather permits, will be completed the week of November 22nd. So everything that's shown in colors kind of gives you an idea of when it'll start and when it'll be completed. The contractor will be back early spring to complete the PFMD zones identified in the contract. And so anyway, just kind of want to let you know that over the next 2 weeks, they will, these roads are more collectors. So they're not, I think there's only one area that is a local street that will affect the residents more than the others. These other streets are more, just roads main roads that will work around the residential homes themselves. So do you have any questions on any of the two projects?
I have a quick question. If there is a road that is supposed to be on this, but is not on this, and the residents were given a letter, but there was no date, how are they going to be notified of the date in advance? Will it be posted on their door? Will it be posted on the street?
They will be renoticed.
Okay.
If they're not meeting the schedule, they'll be renoticed
Okay,
48 hours in advance of the work. We'll
Okay.
probably, once we get the final map, we'll probably post it on our website also.
thank you. Any other questions or comments from council?
I was gonna ask the same question because I got a notice, but it didn't have a date, so I need to know when. That's fine. We'll get another one.
Okay,
Will it be mailed or will it be on the door?
it'll be on the door.
Door, okay,
It'll be on the door. Yes.
good.
You'll also get like barricades, 48 hours in advance if the work is going to be done in front of your property.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Any questions or comments from the public? We'll go ahead and move to, sorry. Consent calendar. Items considered routine in nature are placed on the consent calendar and they will be considered and voted upon in one vote as one item unless a council member or member of the public requests individual consideration. Item 4-1, approval minutes, special meeting, October 15th, 2024. Item 4-2, approval minutes, regular meeting, October 15th, 2024. 4-3, approval, second reading, ordinance 2024-7, adding chapter 8 to title 6 of the Lemoore Municipal Code relating to recreation vehicles and boats. Item 4-4, approval, second reading, ordinance 2024-08, adding chapter 12 to title 1 of the Lemoore Municipal Code relating to administrative citations. Item 4-5, approval, second reading, ordinance 2024-09, amending section 7 of chapter 11 of the Lemoore Municipal Code relating to city park hours. Item 4-6, approval real property lease agreement between City of Lemoore and Kings County Library. 4-7, approval resolution 2024-29, approving the formation of a Measure S Oversight Committee. 4-8, approval investment report for the quarter end September 30th, 2024. Is there anything that council would like to pull?
4-3.
Anything else from council?
4-1.
Okay, is there anything that the public would like to pull? Mr. Walker?
Madam Mayor and Council, I respectfully request that we pull item 4-7.
Thank you, sir. Any other requests? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar 4-2, 4-4, 4-5, 4-6, and 4-8.
I'll motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Garza
I'll second.
and a second by Councilmember Orth. Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Orth,
Yes,
Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 4 in favor. Item 4-1.
Just a correction on the council members that were present. My name was left off and I think Mr. Lyons was put that he was present, but he wasn't present at the meeting. That's
Is there any questions or comments on that item from council or the public? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve with the changes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion by Councilmember Garza
I'll second.
and a second by Councilmember Orth. Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Orth,
Yes,
Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Also passes 4 in favor. 4-3.
well. In 4 years, I have not gotten more phone calls about this thing than anything else that I've ever done on council. A lot of people have called and their hang-up, they understand we don't want camping in trailers. Their biggest hang-up is the plug-in, just for the conditioning of the batteries and charging the batteries. They were hoping to remove, and I'm requesting, getting consent from us to remove just the charging aspect of the ordinance. And then I would also like to bring that back at a later where we can read it to look at it, but I would like to remove the charging cable aspect of the ordinance. You think that would cause a problem, chief?
Like I said, when I presented it, I have no personal attachment or emotion involved in this.
Reason why.
Just for clarification, so under 7, it says the recreational vehicle and or boat shall not be stored with the slides out. It shall not be connected to power. So you want that removed. And then if you look at, under the parking permit section, there's also one that says, at no time shall there be electrical extension cords or any other connection placed across the sidewalk and or other public areas.
No, I want to leave that in because
Okay.
that's a tripping hazard. That's an ADA issue. I don't want to mess with no sidewalks or nothing like that. It's just, people want to charge their boat. They want to
Sure.
plug their boat in the night before they leave. That makes it to where they can't do that. So, and that's, most of the people were complaining about that.
It's a little contradicting then, isn't it? To be able to.
Well, if you read it, it's,
Dragged across the sidewalk.
Well,
Talking in the driveway
it's-
or?
in the driveway is okay.
Oh.
I want it in the driveway. You're not supposed to park your trailer in the street anyways. And so I don't want a cord going across the sidewalk so a kid trips over a sidewalk. If your trailer's parked in your driveway and you're plugged in 2 feet to your house, I don't know why we're,
Okay, I see what you're saying. I
That's-
thought you meant in the street.
no. That's just in the driveway, just where it's legally allowed to park a trailer is in the driveway and the cord. I don't want to mess with no.
I have a comment on that portion because I was also going to pull it to ask for a little bit of change in wording. And maybe this would be a way around what the portion that you just spoke of. Not everyone's vehicle will fit in their driveway where it won't impede on the sidewalk. So I was wondering if instead of saying they cannot have extension cords going across the sidewalk, if we could say that they could, but there needs to be either it needs to be taped down or one of the, I don't know what the term is, but I call them the little speed bump things put over it so that there could be safe passage over it. That was my thoughts. So just throwing that out there. Would you see any potential issues with that? I know I'm
I
asking you
think
to
as
look
a
into a crystal
homeowner,
ball.
you're bringing on a little bit of liability that you may or may not want.
Yeah.
It's a public right of way.
Just
I would
throwing it out
advise
there.
against it.
I would speak to that. I agree. I think that you're, as thinking of it for the liability aspect, you're relying on the public to maintain a safety aspect of something that the city may be responsible for in the end, and that may potentially be a problem.
That's all I
We're
need.
going across the sidewalk.
The sidewalk.
Correct.
Okay. So
Thank you for that clarification.
are you okay then?
I'm good.
Okay. I mean, to me, it's people put boats, they have to trickle charge the boat batteries, the house batteries. I mean, it gets cold, you have a truck out front. Are you gonna say you can't block heat your truck? I mean, the block heaters for your diesel trucks. I mean, I just think, like I said, I got more phone calls from a lot of people and no one wanted to come here because they all fear the man standing at that podium right now because they believe in their mind that it's your ordinance. And I tried to explain to them over and over, but they weren't. And I told them he's
I
a big
appreciate
teddy
that.
bear. He's a big teddy bear. He just go,
I
he's
appreciate
doing his
that.
job and they didn't want to hear it, but so I would like to ask to change that. I think I probably would need to get consent from all of us. Consensus. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Are you good with it, Stu?
We got a
Okay.
thumbs up from Stuart. You're good with it,
Are you
Mr.
good,
Garza?
Johnny, or?
Yeah.
You're good? Okay.
So you have
Good?
consensus for that part. I also had a quick question about just some clarification of words. I read the item 7. I could tell you what page it's on, but that's not going to be helpful. It's under the storage on residential driveway.
Mhm.
Item section E, number 5. Was it 5? No, that's not it. Yeah, number 7. As far as somebody loading, getting ready, unloading, cleaning up, their recreational vehicle slash trailer, there is a grace period for that to take place, correct? Without having to get a permit, any of that.
They would still fall under essentially the California Vehicle Code of 72 hours. The only, this ordinance only kind of outlines the 7-day habitation permit that they'll get issued by the city. If it's going to take them probably longer than those 72 hours, I would get a permit so that they can correctly address whatever it is they want to address. But as written, they essentially have 72 hours before it can get towed.
Gotcha. Is there a cost to the permit?
No,
It's a free permit.
free permit. It's a piece of paper.
That's always good. I didn't know it was vehicle code either. That's a good point. I mean, we can't.
Well, the
go
vehicle
against-
code outlines like the vehicle can't be left standing on a roadway for in excess of 72 hours unless it's moved. So
Makes sense.
So it sounds like there's just the one change.
Change.
Yes, so we would continue the second reading on to the next meeting. But just for the record, I know that our city clerk has a comment that was emailed in, and then I'm not sure if there's any also online.
Right, so we did get one, Christine Andrada. She wasn't able to attend the meeting today, but she'd like her concerns read into the record. So she believes a longer time frame is needed to allow RVs to be plugged in. She also feels extension cords should be permitted. She feels that the time frame proposed does not allow adequate time for preparing for trips. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment on this item? Mr. Walker?
Madam Mayor and Council, thank you. I received a question from a neighbor that I wanted to speak on, as well as a question that came to mind during the first hearing that I didn't voice at the at the podium. Question from the neighbor. Would this ordinance also include work like a work van, like a van that you use for work, like for your business? Okay. And then the other question, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it, but in regards to the recreation vehicles, it defines like what a recreation vehicle is, where it has like all the definitions, like for semi-trailer, tent trailer, a commercial coach. There's just like questions around that because it sounded like a work vehicle.
really the only work type vehicle it would potentially cover would be like a semi truck where they have sleeping quarters in it. But this is really specifically, unless it's outlined in the definition section, that's the only thing it affects. So a regular type vehicle, just a panel van is really just falls under the California Vehicle Code.
Thank you.
So that wording of commercial coach is different than a commercial vehicle. Coach is
Correct.
more of an inhabitable
Right.
vehicle.
In different states, they consider them coaches versus a recreational vehicle. And so you really have to dial in the definition of everything. So it kind of leaves everything pretty clear.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
As
And-
best as possible.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll go ahead and continue the second reading to our next scheduled meeting,
Next scheduled meeting.
our next meeting. Lost my place, sorry. We'll go ahead and go to 4-7. Mr. Walker, did you have anything specific?
Me again. No, I just wanted to thank council for taking community feedback and revising the draft from what the first draft was to the second draft. I just noticed that the community feedback was implemented and wanted to call that out and do a public thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions, comments about that item? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve 4-7.
Motion.
A motion by Councilmember Lyons,
Second.
second by Councilmember Garza. Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
Councilmember Garza,
Yes.
Councilmember Orth.
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Passes 4 in favor. Our next item, wow. Our next item is city council reports and requests. That was quick.
Election night.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Councilmember Garza.
First again.
Sorry,
I
I
just want to
forgot.
thank everybody for showing up tonight. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Frank. And then I forget the guy from the rec department over here. Sorry
Right.
about that, sir.
Ray.
But I do want to make a request to change that clock, please, because I thought it was 7 o'clock already, and I'll let you know. And that's it for me.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Lyons.
Yeah, thank you to all our city staff. Congratulations, young lady.
Thank you.
And I spoke with Bobby Wharton from the Commission on Aging. She just wanted to tell everybody to know that they're still preparing their own meals at the senior center and the seniors love it. They get to be part of the menu making process and that the Meals on Wheels still have very high numbers. So if anybody's interested, please reach out, contact. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Orth.
Well, I'd like to thank all the city staff for all the hard work, especially the implementation of the Tyler Tech. That's been a long time coming and a whole lot of work, I can only imagine. So thank you for all the hard work. National Night Out was well attended. I was very, very impressed. I get even more impressed watching that dog attack one of their own. That's the crazy thing about that. But it was a great night, really a lot of people. Crab feed, once again, first time in many years of going. It was well attended. The food was really, really good. Not that I was surprised or not, but it was good. Had a great time. My wife won't let me bid on the flags, but
You can next year.
yeah, so. But anyways, other than that, congratulations on a new city manager or a new city attorney. Looking forward to a lot of conversations moving forward. It's election, everybody get out and vote, and that's how we show our freedom and that's how we show our independence. So other than that, congratulations on everything, on being America. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just to piggyback on that, you have just under 2 hours to get in line to vote. So if you're listening to this online or if you're in this room and you still need to go next door, make sure that you do that before 8 o'clock. I attended the candy crawl, which was a huge success. Lots of people downtown. I feel like every event that we have that we continue, the attendance just gets bigger and bigger. The event grows larger and larger. And it's great to see that type of impact in the community. And I hope that we get to continue that. I did attend the Kings County Homeless Collaborative, and just an update from that, the Sunrise Apartment complex that is going in Hanford. They finally received, they didn't receive their switchgear yet, but they did receive a date for their switchgear to be delivered. So that's progress there, because previously they had no date in sight. So that was good news for that. I attended the Baskin-Robbins grand opening / ribbon cutting October 26th. It was very well attended by the public. They had a lot of giveaways. There was a lot of happy people, and $1.31 scoops of ice cream. How can you go wrong? So it was a nice event there. City Manager Trejo and myself had a meeting with Vince Fong. It was a really good meeting about where we are currently and where we're looking at going, and how we can partner with each other to get us there. So really good meeting with him. Also attended National Night Out. I agree with everything you said. It was a great turnout. Again, everything that we do seems to get better and better every year. And that's one of those events as well. For KWRA, or Kings Waste Recycling Authority, just a report out of that committee, the scale has been replaced. One of the scales that has been an issue for a long time. The board did decide, instead of continue repairs over and over and over, to just replace it. I think it was there since it was built. It was definitely time. So that scale has been replaced, so hopefully it will work for many more years to come. There was a fuel tank issue that they had on premises that they were looking to replace. They are currently renting one, and in researching the price to replace that tank, they realized that it would be cheaper to rent that tank for 50 years or more than to purchase a new tank to put in. So they're going to continue due to the cost savings to rent that tank. So that should be, oh, another thing with King's Waste and Recycling is, and I apologize for not giving you a heads up on this, but they're requesting that for our spring cleanup, that we do the entire month of March. There's a lot of our residents that, because we usually do 1 week, there's only one weekend involved, and it's really hard for them to get over there. So they requested that and it's a strain on their employees as well, trying to get us all through in that amount of time. So their request is that we do it for the month of March. So sorry about that, but we'll see if that works for us. I did participate in an interview for the Maddie report that is on Channel 30, I think it is, on Sundays. I don't know when it will air, if it will air, whatever. I'm halfway hoping that it doesn't, I'll be honest, but we're our own worst critics. But so just wanted to say that I did participate in that. David Orth and I also participated in the ribbon cutting for our newest restaurant in town, Valle Gruyense. I think I said that right. Thank you. I've been there. I don't want to tell you how many times I've been there since their soft opening. It's a little bit embarrassing, but their food is really good. If you haven't tried it, make sure you go out. Sunday was extremely busy, but also no matter how busy they are, the service is great. The food's always great. So definitely check them out if you haven't already. I also did attend the Lemoore Rotary Crab Feed. Great event. Again, another event that just gets better every year. I may or may not have got a little caught up in the
You got caught up.
the live auction, but I have a vacation coming in my future, so that's great. Thank you for that. So it's a very well attended. If you haven't been to one, I highly recommend that you experience it at least once, and once you're there, I know you'll come back every year. At the Board of Supervisors meeting, I just want to give a shout out to our Parks and Rec department from Supervisor Robinson. Did mention at last week's meeting a shout out of appreciation to the Rex NFL flag football program, the staff, and also the way that the program is run, and also to our community for our volunteerism. He said that in most communities, you don't see a lot of that anymore, and ours is still alive and well. And of course, I told him it's because Lemoore's the best. So he did make a public announcement for that. Some of the things I'm looking forward to over the next couple of weeks is the Coffee and Community tomorrow. There is going to be, I believe, I forgot to look up the date, but I believe the King's EDC annual meeting is coming up this week as well. Thursday. So I will be attending that. This Saturday, there will be the Veterans Day weekend car show put on by several entities in Lemoore, including the Fleet Reserve, the Downtown Merchants, the City of Lemoore. I think there's a couple of other ones. I apologize for not mentioning. Police Officers Association. That starts at noon to 7 p.m. Sorry. Noon to 7 p.m. And they will be recognizing veterans at around 12:30. So if you know any veterans locally or that will be in town that week, make sure that they get connected and they can recognize them properly during that time. There will also be the Veterans Run that is being held. I'm not sure the correct terminology, but by Lemoore Police Department's POA, and that will benefit the American Legion Post 100. That starts at 11 a.m. And just to be clear, it's not just a run, there is a walk portion too. So if you're not a runner, you can do the walk. So I encourage everybody to come out and participate in those events this weekend. The Veterans Day Parade will be this Monday, also put on by the Lemoore Legion Post 100. That starts at 6 p.m. And then The Jingle and Mingle will be coming up December 1st. This will be our third, right? Third Jingle and Mingle. Again, I know it's going to be bigger, better attended. Christmas parade would be December 7th. If you're interested in being a vendor or having a float in that parade, please contact the Lemoore Chamber. And then also my last item, I wanted to see if there would be consensus of council to cancel, make sure I said that right. The second meeting in November. Just throwing that out there to see if anybody is in agreement. I see 3 other thumbs up. So, and while I'm at it, instead of waiting till December, would you also be interested in canceling the second meeting in December because of the holidays?
Holidays, yes.
Yeah, we have consensus. So we will go ahead and move on to closed session. We have item 1, Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Performance Evaluation, City Manager. Item 2, Government Code Section 54956.9, Conference with Legal Counsel, Anticipated Litigation, Significant Exposure to Litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision D of Section 54956.9, 1 case. Item 3, Government Code Section 54956.9, Conference with Legal Counsel, Anticipated Litigation, in this initiation of litigation pursuant to paragraph 4 of subdivision D of Section 54956.9, 1 case. We'll go ahead and adjourn into closed session.